Kane, the sports animal here in Knoxville. Coach, I believe you had the opportunity to coach Tim Banks at Central Michigan. How was that experience, and how unique is it to work with him again here at Tennessee?
Um, Obviously, Tim was he was a senior when I went to Central Michigan. It was only the 1 year that I was there in 1994, so I was blessed in a sense where I got a chance to really coach a kind of a veteran group, and Tim was one of the captains, so to speak, one of the leaders on the defense, not and on the team. But he was a fierce competitor, smart, tough. Obviously, had a tremendous amount of playmaking ability. And it's the same year too that we won the MAC championship, and it was a special time. I had just left Grand Valley State with obviously somebody you guys know very well, Brian Kelly, and then had my opportunity to get back in the Division One and to win a championship right off the bat, and first time there, being their tradition there at the school, and to be a part of a team that, again, had really good senior leadership led by Tim Banks. And Tim was a great player, like I said, and to be around him now, obviously we've been friends for a long time. And the great thing about the business, the job that we have is exactly what we say in recruiting, making an impact in their lives and helping them develop to be the men they want to be and reach their goals and dreams and aspirations. And to sit there and now be beside him and him leading the defense is obviously it's special for me, because that's one of the players I had the obviously the blessing of being able to coach. So it's kind of a cool deal.
Willie, hey, David Pascal here in Chattanooga. Hope you've been doing well. Wanted to ask, you walked into the SEC 20 years ago, and I'm just curious, what has evolved and changed the most for you coaching defensive backs? What's different about it now compared to when you were 20 years ago?
It's going to be a very popular answer. The offenses were, the speed of the game has changed. The tempo of the game has changed. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Obviously, in this league, there's a tremendous amount of, great athletic players at each position, probably the best in the country. And so the talent is obviously it's great, but it's the speed, it's the tempo of the offenses. Being able to try and defend the entire field, sideline to sideline. You got to play with the same personnel on the field. Used to be able to change that personnel grouping because you had time. The strategies have changed. Obviously, the rules have changed. But I would say the offenses.
David Ubben and Brent Hubbs.
Will, what do you make of the defensive backs that you're inheriting?
Well, I'm actually I've been excited. I mean, there's some guys in the room that obviously I was a part of recruiting. That's kind of neat to see and watch them through the years here and develop to be the people they become, the players they are. But I think it's a locked-in group. I think it's a group that really, really wants to get better each and every day. I mean, it's really been an awesome experience for me and Coach Banks, obviously, in the back end. So got some leadership guys that know how to lead, guys that have the respect of their teammates. And you kind of need that in the back end, especially at the last line of defense.
And also this offense, what does it do to secondaries that allows it to have so much success throwing the ball down the field?
I'm going to take a positive to that answer, to that question. Okay. And a lot of guys will, and that's really myself evolving as a coach, especially in the secondary. The tempo of the offenses now, and the great thing about it is we get a chance to practice it. I've been a part of it now for a couple of years when I was at Oklahoma, and then obviously defending it, but also on a daily basis. Though this will be the 6th year, an offense that goes basically at warp speed. So you kind of have to be ready to go. You just can't. You're not just going to line up and practice and kind of ease your way through. Not that anybody does that, but I mean, it starts right from the beginning. The tempo is fast. It's fast in thinking, obviously along with the running part of it, but to process stuff very quickly. So to practice that every day, each period, it's only going to be a positive for the defense. It's almost like you'll get to the game, and I know being a part of it is that sometimes you get these offenses that are no huddle, and they don't quite go as fast as our offense is going to be going. And so they kind of like slows the game down a little bit for them. So there'll be in some games where, come on, man, hurry up and snap the ball, which gives them the time that they've been able to practice that process each and every day. Then when it comes to game times, it's a little bit slower for them. They can process a little bit quicker. And so that's the positive of being involved in defending this each and every day, and the mindset and kind of knowing the ins and outs and how you go about doing that. So, you focus on the things that you have to do to be successful as a defensive back. What is that? Well, once that play's over with, get yourself lined up, get yourself in a play routine, like we like to say. Identify the down and distance, identify the personnel call, identify the calls being given to you, and then get your eyes in the right spot to just define what they lined up in and where are the go-to guys, and that you got to do that all in about 6 to 7 seconds. And to be able to practice that every day, it'll be where they're going to be ready for it. It's not going to be something that's going to really bother them. So you got to pay attention to details. That's going to be important. You have to embrace the process. Don't look at it like a grind every day. Anything that you do, how you do anything is how you do everything. That's kind of like what we say. And if you are prepared and you're detailed in academics, in whoever you're meeting with, whether it's the strength coach, being early, being on time, have a plan already processed through prior to coming into that room or into that meeting, and it's only going to help you have success on the field.
Coach Martinez, Brent Hubbs with VolQuest.com. Welcome back to Knoxville. Two things. One, you're the one who's been here most recently. How much does that help in terms of talking to the defensive staff about kind of the Tennessee experience and recruiting to Tennessee and expectations at Tennessee and all of that? And then two, kind of follow up to what you just talked about. How do you avoid not being too simplistic in the back end when you're having to go warp speed, that you can still be complex enough to affect an offense, but you're playing at such a fast pace? How do you balance that?
To the first question, I told the guys, and obviously they'll ask me the questions, what about Tennessee? And this is a tremendous place. It's a special place. I mean, the first day that I came here back in 2013 is the same excitement that I had when I came back. I mean, it's a place that has so much tradition, so much success, passionate fan base that wants nothing but success. They follow it. They're passionate. It's important to them. I mean, it's like, and when I was recruiting here the last time I was here, and even when I'm with another school, you walk around and you wear that power tee. You walk in, it doesn't matter what state in this country, and let alone across. Sometimes you got to go out of the states. You know exactly what school it is. That it's an unbelievable tradition, and so it's never been a recruit that I've been a part of when we brought them here from wherever they came from, that they didn't really enjoy themselves in Rocky Top. So that's what I remember, and that's kind of like how I feel now. And there's so many great players that have played here, and it's not just football, man. We're talking about all sports, and so there's so much to pull from to sit there and say, well, look, this one here went here, and she went here, and look at the success they had, and there's tremendous tradition here. To your second question, I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Brent? What was it?
Yeah, just how do you balance
being simple?
Yeah, simple because you have to go fast versus being complex.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, but from a fundamental standpoint, from a thought process, like I had said a little bit earlier about just embrace the process. Well, it starts with the beginning, of a play. Don't look at anything else other than you can handle looking over to the sideline and get a down distance situation. Then you can actually look at our personnel calls or what they have in the game. That's something that doesn't need anything but just looking. Now, once you do that, being able to process what they have shown formation wise, okay, you've practiced it. You're going against an offense that's going really fast. It's a positive. Sometimes it looks like it's unreal, but guys, listen to me. trust us that in the process, if you embrace it, okay, it may look a little bit, not realistic how fast they're going in practice, because sometimes it goes faster than normal. But if you're able to process it and focus on your job, okay, you do simple better from your standpoint. What's your job? What is your job? Define it, and then what's the call that we give you? You know what I mean? Within that, you got to have some kind of an idea as we put in the defensive calls. You got to know the weaknesses and strengths of that defense comparable to what they might do. Okay. So they're going to do exactly what you show them what we're going to do, but then we'll have the ability to change that. Okay. You have to be able to do that. Okay. But it won't be something that we haven't practiced. You know what I mean? That's what the offenses do. They look over the sideline and see, look for a different check, how the defense looks. You got to be able to do that same thing on defense. And so it becomes a chess match. So I don't think is that we're going to be simple. That's not going to be the case. We're going to have a strategy, a scheme that will counter anything that the offense is doing. Okay. What we got to do is just play relentless, be locked in and focus and play relentless. Because that's still going to be, it's not going to be so much the scheme as it's going to be how we play. Okay. It's going to be how the tempo that we play, almost kind of like reverse the mindset. We're going to set the tempo. I know that they have the snap count and all that stuff, but by the way and the style that we can play, where we're relentless. Okay. There's no perfect call. It's really the ability to how you play as a unit. All 11 guys being on the same page. Okay. Understanding what is our weakest link in that 11 guys. There's going to be weaknesses and how to play off of that and counter that, knowing that the offense knows that. And then that comes where coaching comes in, where you kind of give enough change ups that plays to your strengths. And again, it's just a chess match. And most of the time that you face these fast tempo offenses, or how you have to defend all these offenses across America, a lot of it's because guys aren't locked in. Okay. Play after play after play. You know what I mean? They get out of their mindset of really what's important. And that's to play as a unit, play as one. Okay. If you're going to make a mistake, you're going to do it 100%. You're going to go fast, relentless, physical. Okay. And if something does happen wrong, it's going to happen. Get back up, get back to your spot, wherever that is, whether you're a right, left corner, a right, left defensive end, and then get the call and get ready and strap it up. And let's snap it up and we'll play the next play. It's the next play. Once that one's done, get on to the next play. It's a mindset.
We'll close with Patrick Brown.
Hey, Willie, Patrick Brown with 24/7 Sports. I'm kind of a two-part question. First of all, what was the process like to you coming back here when Coach Heupel took the Tennessee job? Did you think there was a chance you might come back to Knoxville? And secondly, you mentioned seeing some guys here that you recruited. Who were some of those guys, and maybe what was that interaction like when you saw them for the first time in a couple of years?
Obviously, when Coach Hype took the job, we really didn't know really what was going to happen. Obviously it was a process to it, and obviously I was at a great place, where we won a lot of games and got a tradition of their own going right now. Obviously I'm from Florida. So I had the best of two worlds there. I had an opportunity to come back to a special place like Tennessee and work for Coach Heupel, who I think is a great leader. And then I got a chance to maybe possibly stay. I didn't really know, but I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to my round two, so to speak, here at Rocky Top. So I'm fired up about that. And then, coming back to, a couple guys that I was a part of recruiting. Theo Jackson is somebody obviously that, was somebody that I wanted when I was here. We wanted basically, and thought he was the right mindset. We thought he was the right athlete. And that's kind of like holds true to form right now. And just watching the video that I've watched on him and the person that he's become. And Alante Taylor's another one that actually committed to us at a young age that I had recruited. As a young man, we're talking about 9th, 10th grade year. And to see how he's become and the leader that he's become is really exciting. That's why, for me, that's why I got into coaching. It was first, I've had a lot of great mentors, a lot of coaches that throughout my life, especially at a young age, but they kind of have the same common theme. You know what I mean? To get into coaching, it's really to have an impact in people's lives, to be able to share what and what you've gone through, and then pay it forward, so to speak. And to see it, to see Alante, and to see Theo, that's what's so great about what I do, to be a part of that, in the coaching profession, is to see their development and to see the families that they come from and how proud they must be of them. And that's not to take away from anybody else that I haven't recruited there. I know there's some there like Cheyenne. Cheyenne has not had the career, obviously, for the injuries, but he's still a super, super young man. I mean, he's, obviously we want nothing but the best for him moving forward. And, and there's the other couple of guys there, like, I told Danico, Slaughter, I tried to get him at the old school that I just came from, and you kind of dodged me, and all of a sudden the last second Rocky Top gets him, you know what I mean? I says, it's funny how things kind of come around. It's just like, when I wanted Brian Randolph at another school that I was at, and all of a sudden I come back and I get a chance to coach him. Somehow it just seems like, you know what I mean? If you try and do the best you can and do it the right way, and you recruit the right people, it's the right fit. It's somehow you come back, get a chance to coach those type of, student athletes that I once wanted to recruit, and wanted for myself. So it's kind of cool to see them develop and to become the people they are right now.
Thank you, Coach.